Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle, if you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle.
Let's get it.
Only first place finishes, so I seek and destroy every one of my nemesis. My power limitless, and my scorecard is perfect, it don't have no blemishes. No apologies, cause I ain't ya, it's just my nature that makes me a different type of creature. I'm a bitcher, bonafide gamer. Before you play me, better read the disclaimer. I'm that force to be reckoned with. I know your mama didn't warn you, you shouldn't be messing with. You don't compare to me. We're not the same, there's no similarity. Moment of clarity, you should be scared of me. Run all, you'll never get rid of me. So incredibly outdone. If we go to war, I'm the one you can't outrun.
Only one way. Gotta bring it straight to their face. Ain't nobody safe. Plus it's only one first place. Know what that means? This ain't a fight, it's a war. We focus on up in the score. If you think you better than battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle. Just battle. If you really with it, then battle. Just battle. If you think you better than battle me. When it's time to ball. We back in the field. We ready, it's time. It's nothing but hustle inside of the huddle. You know that I grind. A dangerous smile, a weapon of choice when pushing the line. Go overtime and I won't break when it's crunch time. My end game is number one. Bet it all, give me my cash. Supreme game, can't stop it. Take off like a rocket. Break it back, don't bend mine. I'm the one now, you can't hide. Legendary like legacy. This is our moment, our time.
Our time.
This is our moment. This is our time. Time is now. It's time to rise. This is our moment. This is our time. The time is now. It's time to rise. Yeah. Coming for glory. We ready for war. The city's behind us. We giving you more. We ready whenever. The world is watching. The time is now. No other option. No other way. Play to win the way that we play. Destined for greatness, born to be great, ahead of the game. In front of the pack, leading the way, it's time to reign. The kingdom's here, this is our year. Been to the bottom, ain't nothing to fear, we running the game. Rushing the field for every yard, on every play. Nobody's safe, rise when we fall, but never stay down. The champs is here, doing it for the town. This is our moment, this is our time. The time is now, it's time to rise. This is our moment, this is our time. Time is now, time to rise. It's time to rise. This is our time. It's our moment. It's our time. Feet in the dirt, nose to the ground. Like the crack of dawn, you can't stop the shine. moment after moment, day after day. It's our time. Lock and loaded, it's time for war. Ha. Tear down, kick in the door. Yeah, I want it all, give me some more. Ha. I want it all, give me some more. I want it all, give me some more. Yeah, kill 'em all, it's time for war. It's time for war. Like pandemonium, I set it off. Yeah. Sacrifice, I bear the cross. Legendary, I'm a big dog. Hard knock on the front line. Pure blood, my bloodline. Headshots the first time. My aim good, bullseye. Warfare. Don't play fair. Don't play fair. You not sure? Don't go there. I'm right here. No fear. I'm ready to go at top speed. No brick wall can block me. No army can stop me. Yeah. I want it all and I can't lose. I came far and I won't stop. This my time. I pay dues. Yeah. It's wartime and I won't retreat. I want it all. Give me some more. I kill them all. Won't taste defeat. Nah. Now bow down at the king's feet. It's time for war. I want it all, give me some more. Kill 'em all, it's time for war. Kill 'em all, it's time for war. It's time for war.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to iRacing on LSRTV. We welcome you to coverage of the Crown Jewel Super Late Model E Series as we are ready to go here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Coverage, as always, of iRacing is presented by LiveSimRacing.com. I am Wesley Outland, your host on Play-by-Play. Joining me alongside is Mr. Brockton Packard in the Queen City of Charlotte. Brockton filling in for Jason Rockefeller. Hopefully he gets to feeling better. He's under the weather after being on vacation, and then he gets sick with COVID. That sucks. Brockton's in the house, though. Brockton, you ready to rock and roll, brother?
I'm ready to rock and roll at the Paperclip Super Late Models. Paperclip, what's another classic combo? We're going to have some great racing, side-by-side beating and banging, and hopefully some green flag racing.
All we need now is some of those Martinsville Speedway delicious Jesse Jones hot dogs, and we'd be in business in the broadcast booth for this virtual race, no doubt about it. This is, again, the next round of the Crown Jewel Series, and tonight you will be seeing some pretty cool bells and whistles along the way. We'll have, of course, some new graphics that Charles Wooten, who is our producer, has been working on with Rocket Racing Media and Live Sim Racing along the way to give you a little enhanced look of what is to come for some of the new iRacing broadcast coverage for their 10th season for iRacing on LSRTV. And again, tonight is Martinsville Speedway, short track racing at its finest. Anything can happen on the Paperclip here, located in the virtual Ridgeway, Virginia, the real track in Virginia. Such an awesome place. And I think short track racing at its finest, we'll see here. One thing we talked about, Brockton, is the car count. But regardless of what the car count is at Martinsville, I think you're always going to see one heck of a show.
Absolutely. Even if the car count's a little low like it is tonight, you'll still have that beating and banging. The class of the field is still going to rise to the top no matter where they start. After qualifying, we're going to have beating and banging. We're eventually going to have lap traffic. So you're going to have all the classic Martinsville things happening no matter how many cars are out on the track tonight.
Yeah, you better strap in and hold on as, again, qualifying is going on right now as well. This will give us an opportunity to step away, think of our sponsors as we are close to getting things started. Qualifying will then set the field, if necessary, for the last chance race if need be. And then, of course, they are going to go for 150 laps around the Martinsville Speedway. That is the equivalent, if you cut it in half, of 75 miles. We're back in a moment. iRacing on LSRTV, the Crown Jewel Series from Martinsville.
Your CRN, my CRN, our CRN. We are CRN. The community radio network now and the new WCRN 87.9 FM. And still always anywhere worldwide at wearecrn.com. We are CRN.
Here comes Xavier on the bottom 3 wide
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the virtual paperclip. That is Martinsville Speedway. Brockton Packard. I'm Wesley Outland, and we get you set to go for 150 laps here at the virtual track. That is looking at your Kaufman Creative weather conditions. By the way, just some of the new graphics and bells and whistles created just like that down there at the bottom right of the monitor. 80 degrees, track temp at 83, wind speed 7, getting ready for sunset. Partly cloudy sky, sun poking out a time or two. That's going to make it interesting here, Brockton.
Yeah, this track's going to be hot and slick for these guys in the first half of this race. As you can see, the sun's getting a little low. Those shadows slowly creeping over the front stretch. So that track temp will come down and these cars will get a little more gripped up. But these drivers are going to have to play a little bit of tiptoe through this first half of the race as the track is able to cool down and those tires are able to grip up.
And that's presented by Kaufman Creative as we now take a look at some new cool graphics. By the way, you want to join iRacing? Right now, go to your computer, okay? Go to your computer, your monitor, wherever you're watching. Click on the scan, the QR code on the screen to find out more information. Sign up for iRacing today. By the way, I'm going to test this right now myself. I'm going to make the screen full, and I'm going to pull out my little QR code here. Make my little QR code work. And oh wow, yeah. Bam, iRacing. There it is. So we know it works. There's your QR code. Tap to scan. QR code works. Brockton, are you trying this on your phone, brother?
Absolutely, Wesley. I'm pulling that up on my phone, and well, Wesley, you got to remember, I'm already a member of iRacing for 5 years now, so it pops up some other stuff for me, but it's essentially the same idea.
Okay, well, yeah, it worked, so I'm happy.
Yeah.
Although I do not have iRacing yet, so. Well, let's take a look at the race analysis for tonight as we're about 4 minutes away from getting them set to go for the conclusion of qualifying. Practice session done, lone qualifying session ongoing right now. I don't think we'll have a last chance race. I really don't see that happening. And then, of course, it'll be a 150-lap feature here, 75 miles around the Martinsville Speedway, getting you ready for the next round. Look at the high virtual view of Martinsville. Aerial coverage, as always, is presented by LSRTV. And, of course, if you're interested in being a partner for the new season, whether it's for leagues or for sponsors, partners for this 10th season of iRacing on LSRTV. I keep telling him, Brockton, he's got to change the logo. We got to change the logo because it's the 10th anniversary season. So you got to come up with a new logo, and I got a feeling one's coming soon.
Well, I think
no, it's not.
I think it's the 11th.
Oh, never mind. By the way, I got breaking news coming from the race director, Caleb Hall. By the way, if you're looking to get into producing or announcing, message us on Facebook or at livesimracingtv.com. By the way, Caleb Hall, race director, says I'm going to put up $10 to the pole sitter if they want to go to the rear and come back to win the race. The original pole sitter is already inverted to 7th, so they'll probably take it. We'll see how qualifying does here. But how about that, Brockton, a little chance to make some extra money?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of saw the ticker going on the field size, and it's not a huge field tonight. So normally if I heard that deal on a 30-40 car count at Martinsville, I'd never take that deal. Track position's going to be everything at this race, but I feel like with how slippy and slidey these super late models are going to be and a little bit of a lower car count, I'd take that deal because there's a fair chance that you just got to miss a couple wrecks and you'll be right back in it.
By the way, don't forget to join Charles and myself tomorrow for Finish Line tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Of course, broadcast coverage on Rocket Racing Media, LSRTV Productions on Facebook and YouTube, as well as on the radio, Fox Sports Radio, Carolina affiliates, iHeartRadio, Community Radio Network, and Spreaker. Guests include, listen to this, Brockton, guests include Logan Seavey, Chili Bowl winner from Tulsa over the weekend. Also, Michael Atwell, Showtime Super Late Model winner, shootout winner in Florida for Super Late Models. Also, we're going to have Andy Jankowiak to preview or recap Daytona testing for ARCA, as well as running in the Indoor Auto Racing Series. We've also got, of course, Greg Peterson, Late Model Challenger winner of the New Year's Bash at Dillon, and the Street Stock New Year's Bash champion from Wilbraham, Wisconsin, Mr. Tom, Massachusetts, from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, Tom O'Sullivan. Tomorrow, Finish Line. Should be a good one.
Yeah, you've got a heck of a lineup there, but also, Wesley, there's a new show in town, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast, every Sunday at 3 p.m. CST, so make sure to stop by there. We're going to be talking about a couple things in the world of sim racing and in your analog world, as our sim racers like to call it. In the real world, I'm sure we'll talk about some Chili Bowl stuff. Not only that, but some endurance racing news. And we're only a few more weeks away from the stock car season getting on their way. So make sure to join us, myself and Charles Wooten, for the Press Box Podcast, Press Box Motorsports Podcast, Episode 3. And you can find that at the same time, same place as your lovely
That's exactly right.
Finish Line.
By the way, want to send a big congratulations to Matt Kenseth, Herschel McGriff, and Kirk Shelmerdine, inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame class of 2023. Their induction ceremony is again this Friday night. Another induction, another 3 great pioneers of the sport being inducted for their accolades and successes, hands down. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kevin Harvick announces retirement. I think we're getting close to hearing Martin Truex Jr. also say he's going to announce retirement. So Should be fun. Martinsville Speedway, no doubt about it, always a fun race. So, listen, this is what's going on, ladies and gentlemen. They are going into the next race, which would have been the last chance qualifier race. However, they are skipping that because nobody's going into the last chance race. Everybody transfers into the feature, and we will be going into the feature race in less than a minute. And then we go 150 laps. That's what's going down right here. I think they're going to get maybe one more quick warm-up session. They get one more warm-up. 30 seconds, we go racing. There you go. So we're just awaiting everybody to get set up in place and ready to go for 150 laps here. As again, as I mentioned, they have skipped the last chance qualifier. Remember, Caleb Hall, race director, has said, invert 7. If the guy in 7th wants to go to the rear, come to the back, take the challenge. A $10 bonus is added to the pay for tonight at Martinsville. They're gritted. Let's give you your starting lineup here tonight for 150 laps. On the pole, Dustin Mombercat in the number 16. On the invert of 7, Carter Russo in the 021. Row 2, we'll find Chase Pierce in the 07, Aaron Johnson in the 78. Row number 3, we'll find Trevor Edwards in the 032, Brett Suggs right there in the 033. Row 4, Josh Cottle and Eli Valentine. By the way, Cottle was fast qualifier. He can take the invert if he chooses to and go to the rear for the money bonus challenge. Sean Hayes and Still Langford make up row number 5. Row 6, Braxton DeWeese in the 15. James Pileski in the 093. Row 6, Phil begins to roll behind the pace car. Drew Chance in the 018. Row 7, and Branson McCannon in the 11. And your final starter. It's 14 drivers. A couple of drivers decided to bail out. Well, I'll say this much, Brockton, it's better than 9 from last week at North Wilkesboro.
Yes, sir, it is. And 14 cars to be perfect, enough to beat and bang, and hopefully, knock on wood here, not enough to make a wreck fest of it. So I'm excited to see what these drivers can do.
And by the way, Brockton, I'm being told Josh Cottle, if you want to show him on the monitor real quickly, has taken the challenge. The number 13, Josh Cottle, has decided to go to the rear of the field and go for the money. There he is right there, the Rocket Racing entry number 13. He'll start outside row number 7. The invert was 7. He qualified fast time. He will be the driver that has taken the challenge. Keep an eye on that black and white number 13 to try to get it going. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the pace truck drives onto the pit lane. Here come the virtual kaleidoscope warlords in all of their colors. Coming out of turn number 4, the big dogs begin to growl. The Crown Jewel Super Late Model E Series is green in Martinsville, and we feel the roar. Slamming, bamming, crashing, saving. Concrete dust flying, and all the while, Dustin Mombercat Brockton will lead lap number 1, 149 to go.
Yeah, already showing the aggressiveness of these drivers. We had a driver almost hitting the inside wall barrier, and that's not a place you want to be at Martinsville. So these guys throwing down quick, and man, they're in a whole lot of hurry to get a whole lot of nowhere at the moment.
Yeah, definitely a little bumping and banging and gouging to get things started with Dustin Mombercat up in front of the early going. Pierce down to 2nd, Edwards 3rd. By the way, Cottle is up to 11th. The driver that was fast qualifier took the back challenge, took the rear of the field challenge for the money bonus. He has moved his way now into the top 10. All the while, here comes the battle now for the bridesmaid spot up the racetrack. Problems, and I believe it's Valentine.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh boy, they'll save it.
Yeah, he got really loose coming in the middle of the corner. That's not something you normally see with these cars. He might have had a little bit of help, possibly from a car behind, but that rear bumper looks pretty clean so far.
Yeah, that was Hayes' car. No time at scoring has him as the 49, but he's actually in the car number 0 or 157. Actually, is what time and scoring has him. There's Brockton. Well, Brockton Packard. We're watching Braxton DeWeese now work his way Brockton around the corner. Seeing what the number 15 can do.
Braxton and I have raced a couple times together in a few different leagues, and that's kind of where your confusion comes from, the old Adrenaline iRacing League, where Braxton and I cut our teeth back in the good old days of 3 years ago. Looks like he's already used a little bit of the nose, and almost uses the nose again to get around. Who is that? The 93 of Poloski.
Yeah, that's Pileski's car. Clearing by Pileski down to the inside. Here comes now DeWeese clearing that car. We got a battle now heating up for second steal. And they ran down the leader. Contact. Edwards gets into Pierce. My, oh my, he still got back in the gas and kept going again, even after he got spun. And there's the caution being drawn for the first time. And you got to wonder if possibly the 32 might be posted from the Crown Jewel Series officials. Here's a look at the replay. And by the way, as fast as the 07 got spun, he got right back in the throttle and kept going again. Here, Brockton, there's a replay of what happened here off turn 4.
Yeah, the 07 made a great pass entering turn 3, and just a little bit of over-aggression. I would have to put that on the 32. It's lap 9 of 150. You got to give and take a little bit. If that gap's closing, just back out of it, and you'll get them in the next one.
Well, looks like the 32 is going to be possibly penalized here. He is falling all the way to the back, as it looks like they are going to call the caution on him. And in doing so, this will now put the 26 to the number 2 spot of Eli Valentine. By the way, a couple of cars did not start the race. They include Jake Grout, Kyle Storm, excuse me, Jake Grout in 49, Kyle Storm in 81, and Cole Gumstead did not start this race. And all the while, the machine of Edwards has been posted, Brockton, and he has been sent to the tail. And so has also Chase Pierce. So it's kind of that spinner-spinny rule, if you will.
Yeah, that's a new rule to me, but I like it. If you guys both cause the wreck and it's kind of a racing deal, you both should go to the back and race your way back up. But Wesley, one thing I wanted to point out is a couple cars behind our 2 leaders here, the 16 and the 26. There's a lot of cars with damage already, and it's only lap 13, or coming to lap 13, I should say.
Yeah, still in the early going of this race, as my colleague Brockton just mentioned. Lights are still on the pace truck. This is kind of a lengthy caution. I wonder if possibly Edwards might be protesting his position with Caleb Hall and the series officials for the Crown Jewel Series. He got into him. Dustin Mombercat, always a talented driver. He's the man leading the way right now in the number 116 machine. Eli Valentine behind him of the Solid Rock Carriers, car number 26. Aaron Johnson will take the outside on the restart for the choose rule. So will Brett Suggs. There's a guy that I know for a pretty good couple of years. Brett Suggs used to run in the Allison Legacy Series. Had some success with that. Now running late models and pro late models in the Carolinas. And the number 033 machine, Brett Suggs. Not to mention what he done also in the Legends of Bandolero classes back in the day. It's Dustin Momberket ready to pull the trigger, bring him back to the green here on lap number 13. Coming on lap 14, we're backing away here. And Dustin Momberket with a great restart on the pack as they'll send it off there into turn number 1, Brockton for the restart.
Yeah, and Johnson got lucky being able to squeeze down in front of Valentine on the inside. Valentine falls back into third, side by side with Suggs, and Suggs is going to relieve that position to Valentine, and still Johnson trying to get to the back of Momberket, just not quite enough grip in that car yet.
Cross the line, another lap on the board now, working lap number 15, 16 laps in of 150 with Momberket still the man leading the way. Johnson, Valentine, those drivers right there with one behind the other as they work their way to the line, coming to the stripe. Check your VMix for Messenger as all the while the leaders work their way off of the corner. Momberket still nice, comfortable lead by a half a car length. It's Johnson now trying to reel them in inside and outside. Nothing there. Back to the line. Closing in on 20 laps here at 150 for the race tonight at Martinsville. Look at this beautiful 78 machine. There's the Johnson car. Behind him, Eli Valentine, Sean Hayes. Remember the problem Hayes had earlier in the race when he shot up the racetrack on the start of the event. He's now nestled right back there in the top 5 and 4th. Brett Suggs right behind him. They're single file, though. Question is for how long, though. It might be a good thing to ride and drive right now, though, honestly, Brockton, to pick laps off.
Yeah, these guys are going to be burning up those tires trying to go for passes and bonsai moves, so it's a smart idea to hurry up and ride. And I just want to point out that number 13 is now into 5th place, and we've got trouble behind him. The 18 gets loose, and there's trouble in the back. Oh my goodness, I can't believe everybody just saved that.
And no caution. That was Drew Chance. Drew Chance's car shot up the speedway, and look at Edwards now in trouble. He slams the outside wall. Now we got more cars checking up across the line. Pileski under attack. Chance is still loose, fighting an ill-handling car. And all the while, they still save it. No caution as they go to the back straightaway.
Yeah, and that was Edwards off the nose of Pierce's car, which we saw the opposite of that to bring out the first caution of the night. So maybe a little bit of retaliation, or just, hey, buddy, I'm tired of sitting behind you. Move out of my way, which is the famous Martinsville greeting to your fellow competitors.
All the while, they come to the line 1 lap away from putting a quarter of the distance through here. 125 laps, 125 remaining. As Momberket is still on in front. Johnson, Valentine, Suggs, Cottle. By the way, remember Cottle? The black 13 car. Let's show him now. He's in 5th. He's behind all this chaos and mayhem. He has took the challenge. He's right there. Getting around Sean Hayes. He has moved Brockton into the top 5, looking for the cash money bonus if he can pull it off.
Yeah, Cottle's got a great hot rod underneath him. He has already some really good confidence. He's stayed out of trouble through that hornet's nest, and now all he's got to do is run smooth, consistent lap times, and he's clicking away some pretty solid laps. He should be at the back of Suggs any lap now. So if I'm in that 13, that is my lucky number tonight, is that 13 car.
Cottle's car now with Hayes right there behind him as they close in on 30 laps into this race. Again, Momberket still the leader. Number 13 down the back stretch. There it is. By the way, fastest lap of the race so far by each driver. I'm sorry, their last lap speed is posted on the screen. I thought it said fast lap. My apologies. Monberquette, last lap time, along with the rest of the scoring gap distance of everyone else. As all the while we watch this battle for fifth ensue between Josh Cottle and Sean Hayes. Another close battle is for the lead as Monberquette is starting to get in the clutches of Johnson, reeling him in for the top spot. This goes on into turn number 3 and 4. Monberquette and Johnson for the lead.
Yeah,
as
both
there's
of those
that
guys
battle,
were
we get to the top 5.
Both of the leaders last time by were separated by 1,000th of a second off of lap times, so they are running almost identical lap times. They are running each other as hard as they can. Monberquette gets a little bit high on entry just to get a little bit of a run off, and that's what's able to keep Johnson at arm's distance. Johnson trying to diamond that center of the corner like you see at most short tracks nowadays, but Monberquette just barely able to stay out in front of him, not letting Johnson get to the rear bumper to move him out of the groove. Right now, a beautiful display of racecraft right now between these two.
And there it is right there for that top spot. Chevrolet and Ford going at it down into the third turn, but Monberquette protecting the bottom. Now goes to the top shelf for the racetrack on the front straightaway, same in the back. Hugs back to the bottom of the racetrack out of the corners here at the Paperclip at Martinsville. Down the back straightaway. Monberquette got a little slip there for a moment, and this allows Aaron Johnson to try to reel him back in again. This happening now on lap number 35 completed. And look at these fierce battles happening now in the back of the pack, as now we see Carter Russo as well as Braxton DeWeese going at it. Carter Russo, by the way, he's a real late model racer in the Carolinas. He runs at Caraway and South Boston, Ace Speedway. Runs in the late models in a 21 car.
Yeah, I think Braxton might have got muscled a little bit because last time I looked he was running 9th and now he's mired back in the 12th position. I think he might have gotten roughed up a little bit, maybe missed the turn, and he's struggling a little bit. I've known Braxton well enough to never count him out, but right now he's got to find a little more pace in that car.
Back straight away. There's that 18 and Drew Chance now. Remember the problems he had earlier in the race. He's now got himself back into contention, running well. He's now put lap number 40 on the board in this event so far. Monberquette still the man out in front, followed by Johnson. Whoa, look out. Edwards off the pace from the top side. Aerial coverage presented by LSRTV, and what a save the 32 made.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I'd say that 32's probably overheated his rear tires just a little bit too much. He's been slipping and sliding every other turn. He's also been sideways a couple times off the nose of a few cars already tonight, so that's probably not helping the handling of that race car. But already the leaders have separated themselves, Wesley, by 2 full seconds on the pack, and that is just impressive with how close these guys were in qualifying. But back here in the pack, it is a tough ask to get by one of these cars, and you can tell that 93 of Plosky, he just doesn't quite have the pace. These guys are trying to get around him, but Martinsville is such a tough track to pass. They just haven't been able to get around him yet.
Yeah, can you say slip sliding away in the words of the great lyrics by Paul Simon? That's happening to that car. DeWeese falling back now, losing ground. He's fell into 12th, 13th in the clutches of McCannon. And all the while now we see Edwards and Pileski going at it. Chance behind him, so is Russo. And believe it or not, we are closing in on 50 laps into this race here. And you notice nightfall settling in. You notice sunset happening. You notice the cloud cover getting into this fray of the event. And when this race concludes, it will be just before nightfall to decide who will be the winner of this event right now today, Braxton, tonight.
Yeah, and if I'm a driver that's struggling with the handling of my race car, meaning it's too loose, it's wanting to spin in the corner, I am just praying for some more darkness, because as soon as this track cools down, it's going to get nice and grippy and tacky, and you're not going to be spinning as much as you were. It's still going to be a bit of an issue, but it's not going to be as bad.
Yeah, remember we mentioned track temp was 84 degrees, 87 degrees. 84 degrees was the ambient temperature outside. That's gonna drop as nightfall sets in, because the track's gonna cool off because of the cooling of the virtual temperature for race time sim as well. And it's already started. Well, they're still at 80 degrees. Track temp is at 86. It was at 84. By the way, our weather conditions presented by Kaufman Creative. And we are closing in on 100 laps to go in this 150 lapper. A quarter laps remain, 25 laps away from halfway. On board now with James Pileski. He sits in the top 10 in 8th. He's climbed 4 positions, and right now he's got some clean air in front of him as he can catch those other cars. Brockton on the other side of the back straightaway. Meanwhile, battle going on now for 3rd. Here comes Suggs, driver left on the inside of Valentine. This goes on into turn number 1 and 2.
Yeah, and these guys got to be careful, because our pole sitter that went all the way to the back, Pottle's diving in there. He's going to be able to maybe clear Valentine, and he does, and now he's setting his sights on Suggs. Suggs has been able to turn that heat up a little bit in the last few laps. He's been able to get some good lap times in. But behind them, the Hornet's Nest is starting to get rattled here, Wesley. And if I'm a driver in this, I want to get away from a couple of those cars in there. That 07's fast, but he's got to be patient. He's all over the rear end of Hayes. And there he goes. Hayes goes around.
Hold on to it. Hayes and Pierce almost tangled. They call the caution. Yellow is called. Hayes and Pierce now having contact with one another, running each other up the track in 3. And I'm sure the Crown Jewel Series officials will definitely put a halt to that before it goes any further. Hayes and Pierce. This has been the 2nd time that Pierce has been involved in some type of a incident on the racetrack. Remember, he got a bumper earlier tonight from Trevor Edwards, who's, by the way, climbed back into the top 10. And now this incident between Hayes and Pierce as well. Cars are coming down to the pit lane. So did the driver that took the money challenge. He falls into the pit as well. We're on lap 54. Here's a replay, Brockton Packard, of what happened. And we're on a yellow flag for the 2nd time.
Yeah, it's almost an exact replica of what happened to the 07 to bring out our first caution. And remember, Wesley, this 07 has been really aggressive throughout the entire night. He's actually been involved in 3 toss-ups, and 1 just happened to not cause a caution. So if I was the 07, I'm painting a huge target on my back for the end of the race. You can't be running like that, at least for now.
Yeah. Brockton, you got to remember, though, you got to reverse roll this, though. The first caution that was called of the night was with Pierce, yes, but Trevor Edwards got into him. He gave him a bumper and ran Pierce up the racetrack. So now you return the favor with Pierce getting into the machine of Hayes, and you kind of got a different result of this as what's going on. So Eli Valentine is now going to cycle back around as the leader as they continue this round of pit stops as we 20 laps to halfway. Sorry about that.
No, you're all right. Turn 1 seems to be the calamity corner, though. It's interesting that these guys get such a run off of turn 4, see a little bit of a gap and send it in there. And some of these guys just aren't ready for that type of send. And then they end up getting turned around and bashed around and spilling all kinds of stuff all over the track. And then we're under caution again, Wesley.
Yeah, no doubt about it, buddy. He's Brockton Packard. I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten is alongside, and this is iRacing on LSRTV. Hey, you want to join iRacing? Scan the QR code like I did, literally, okay? If you're watching right now, get up off your keister, go to your TV set, go to your TV monitor, your computer monitor, pull out your phone, open your camera, tap the little QR code, and it will open up to iRacing.com, and you can join. By the way, sign up today at iRacing.com. They should give me bonus money every time we plug them like that, right?
I think you should get a free
cool
month every time you plug it.
The social media world is amazing, though, and I mean, this QR code stuff now being used on broadcast is phenomenal. Just some of the new bells and whistles that they've been working on here. Let's go extended, fill the roar. Green flag back out at Martinsville, lap 55. Well, so much for that. Caution out again. I was telling our producer off mic, I said, man, every time that we do a Fill the Roar, a caution happens. So we're just not going to do Fill the Roar anymore.
Oh, dear.
Here's a replay of what happened. And while we're under caution, man, oh man, Brockton just cannot seem to get away from the yellow flag, especially when we want to do these full power, full song send restarts.
Yeah, and that was an interesting wreck there. If we could see it again, because I think the 32 got into the 21, and then the 21 just used the force to push the 18 around. I don't think he ever actually touched him on it. That was
Somebody
interesting.
got
That
touched.
32's aggressive. So, the 21 got in the wall. That's why he lost his momentum. The 18's going to go for the move. 18 runs wide, which is going to lose the 21 more momentum. 21 gets a shot in the back, and unlucky. Some net code there. Takes the 18's rear end, puts it up against the wall, and the 21, salt in the wound, runs right back into him.
So, Valentine will now be the man out in front. Shout out to Kirk I. Bachlanette and Solid Rock Carriers for all that they do for the world of short track racing. And I just find it awesome that they're now on an iRacing car. Pretty cool. By the way, here's your V811 call before you dig. Race summary so far, thanks to Brian Morehouse. 3 cautions so far in this event, 12 caution laps total. Lead change is 1. That's been it, and that's right now whenever the leaders come to the pits. And Valentine stayed out. He's the man. Mumberket falls back to 5 spots. And remember, Cottle took the money challenge, his fast qualifier. He is in the 13 car right there on the monitor, top right. He is now in 3rd as we'll get ready to go for a restart here in another lap or so. They'll get 2x2. Crown Jewel E late model stock car series. They're running super late models this year, actually. But if you'd like to know more information, follow them on social media. They're on Facebook at LSRTV as well, at Rocket Racing Media as well. Valentine, Johnson, Cottle, Suggs, Pileski, top 5. Pierce, Momberket, Hayes, Edwards, Langford, top 10. DeWeese, Chance, McCannon, and Rousseau. Cars on the lead lap. Everybody on the lead lap, actually. Still on the lead lap is everyone. We're ready to come back to the firing box out of turn number 4. Here comes the Warlords off the corner. And Valentine hits the gas on Johnson. Green flag back in the air as Cottle and Suggs are door to door. Down into turn number 1. They fight for position. Pierce is in the wall. Chase Pierce into the outside wall.
Yeah, big contact by Pierce into the wall. But don't look now. Here comes Cadell. And somebody's getting loose on the outside.
Bombercat's in the fence out of turn 4. No caution.
Wesley, we're only 67 laps into this event, but it's all kicking off now. Johnson's getting some great runs into the corner, just isn't able to find the grip out of it. But don't look now because Cottle, coming from the rear end of the field, trying to get his way past Suggs. Suggs is hanging out there on the outside, but so far, Valentine staying out front.
Cottle, Suggs, Pileski, Edwards right there behind one another. They come back to the line. Closing in actually on halfway in this race and about a handful of more laps as Valentine leads the charge. We'll get you set here in just a few moments for the finish line, or for the post-race, for the mid-race report. Man, I've been out of the loop for a while. The mid-race report is coming up here. Mid-race update is right now. Valentine, Johnson, Cottle, staying single file for the top 3. And here comes now a little contact. Suggs gets shot up the racetrack out of turn 4. Bump by Hayes, bump by Edwards. Pileski, they're all fighting for those spots into turn number 1 there, Brockton.
Yeah, and don't look now. Here comes Braxton DeWeese. He might have worked a little bit on that car, trying to feel what he could do with it, and he's got a little bit more speed on that thing. Trying to take away the 7th spot. Oh, what a squeeze it all into the wall!
In the wall! Trying to thread the needle, went the middle, slams into the inside retaining wall. Pileski now behind the wall as he goes for a tow, and the caution is out. A daring move on the outside to the inside in the middle, and he slams the wall. Here's a look on the replay, and we also got your mid-race report after the replay of what happened here, Brockton. Wow.
Yeah, he gets bumped by everybody that goes by him. And this is a little bit of a desperation move. Gets called clear. It's just not quite there.
I don't think he was called clear. I don't think he was called clear. I think he tried to drive in and make a move and throw a block on Braxton DeWeese, and DeWeese is not at fault. And I hope that they don't put DeWeese to the rear, because it's not his fault. He pulled from the outside, went to the middle lane, and slammed the inside wall because Braxton DeWeese gave him a bump, but he tried to make a run. He tried to make a closing where there was nobody there. You can't, I mean, that was just a daring move, and I feel bad for Pileski, I really do. But man, that is heartbreak for Pileski as we are back inside the broadcast booth. It's the LSRTV mid-race report. I am Wesley Outland. Brockton Packard is down below, and 4th yellow flag of the race so far. Brockton, Martinsville, as I said, it has not disappointed thus far.
No, sir, it's not. We've had everything so far. Some retaliation, a little bit of bump and run, and a little bit of some bonsai moves. So I'm excited to see what the rest of this race has in store.
And again, we saw what just took place on the monitor. And again, I hold no fault to Braxton DeWeese. DeWeese and them held their line. I think he tried to find a run from the outside. He was trying to close in under that car of, I believe it was Hayes and Suggs. And in doing so, a mistake made by James Pileski. And now he has fell 3 laps down, only car a lap down on the racetrack.
Yeah, Pileski just saw his momentum shifting in the wrong direction. Braxton just happened to be doing the exact opposite as he was. Braxton's moving his way back through the field. A daring move gone wrong. If it would have worked, it would have been a great move, but these cars are so unstable under a bump draft like that. It just doesn't work, and unfortunately, he paid the price for it.
We're halfway in this race, 75 laps down, 75 to go when they come back to the start-finish line. I asked you, Brockton, what's your take of the race so far?
So far, it's been a good mix of some wrecks and some good racing. I hope we get a little more green flag racing as we come back to the green flag here, but I'm overall very impressed.
And that has been your LSRTV mid-race report as the green flag goes back in the air here at Martinsville. And quickly on the restart, Eli Valentine pulls away. The man trying to take the money bonus, Josh Cottle, is now up to second. Fast qualifier, the invert was 7. He decided to take the challenge and start 14th. And he has methodically, precisely, one by one, worked his way, Brockton, through the field. He now sits in the number 2 spot on that solid Rock Carriers car of Eli Valentine. Brett Suggs, though, right behind him. He trying to give him a shove into 4.
Yeah, right now, if I was in that 13 car, I wouldn't be too worried about the 26 in front of me. I'm worried about the 33 behind me because Suggs has been a little bit faster, if not the same pace as the 13, and he's just been beaten slowly on that back bumper basically ever since he's gotten by him. So if I'm looking in that mirror, I am looking at that 33 for sure.
Working lap number 80. This time by. And it is 70 laps to go. And you got to think as we move into the home stretch of this race, the second half of the race, patience will become thin. Aggressiveness will pick up. And it'll be who wants to be there in the end. Right now, Valentine, the leader, Cottle, Suggs, Johnson, DeWeese right back into the top 5. By the way, I got to say props to the Crown Jewel officials for not penalizing DeWeese after the contact with Pileski's car. Which, by the way, Pileski is still in the pits. 10 laps down now. He's probably done for. And DeWeese under attack. He's in trouble going to turn 1. Here comes Hayes. Russo running him down in the corner.
Yeah, Wesley, he's got to get to the bottom as soon as he can. He had a little bit of a mix-up entering turn 1 a couple laps ago, ran wide, and he hasn't been able to get to the bottom, and he's lost 3 positions now as Hayes goes by him. And he's just working that car, trying to get everything he can. Finally, I think he's clear down to the inside. No, the 21 of Russo is on the inside of him. He is just getting freight trained right now, Wesley.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned, as now here comes now Chase Pierce back in that battle. The 07, Drew Chance now getting around the 15 of DeWeese as well. All of this happening here on lap number 85 of 150 at Martinsville. The Crown Jewel E Late Model Stock Cars Series. Super late models tonight. Cottle right there in that number 2 position, ready to pounce on the Solid Rock Carriers 26 of Valentine. The question is, when do you make your move, Brockton? When do you go for it?
Well, I've got to go for it before Suggs goes for it on me, but the question really is, can these 3 walk away from the field? The Macaroni Man, as I like to call him now, the 78 of Johnson back there, he's still hanging on to this pack, but if they can extend their lead a little bit and have a 3-car breakaway by about a second and a half, then it's a chess match of who's going to wait the longest to make their move and who's going to have the move, the best move in the end.
Valentine down with Cottle. Look at Cottle, he's right there within the cat's whisker. Trying to reel in on Valentine, and behind him is a thundering herd. Ready to pounce on them. It's Suggs, Johnson, Edwards. Yes, Edwards back in the battle again. Into the top 5 climbing. Closing in on lap 90 next time by. and 60 to go.
Oh, and caution.
Caution. Caution out. Caution is out. Carter Russo's in trouble.
Oh.
21 Russo involved. Hayes is involved in the 57. Timing and scoring has him in the 49. And the yellow flies. Well, this will give us a chance to take a quick commercial break after we show you what happened between Hayes and Russo. Look at this. And you gotta wonder, there's the 07 Chase Pierce in the battle. Well, no, he was a good boy this time. He was a good boy this time.
Looks like the 21
Drew
just got in
Chance
there a
almost
little
took
too
out
hot.
the 0. Yeah, yeah. Drew Chance took out the 07 of Pierce almost, but I can't say Pierce is at fault for anything this time.
Not this time.
Caution out for Russo and Hayes. Under 60 laps to go. We'll be right back. This is iRacing on LSRTV from Martinsville. The Crown Jewel E-Series ready to battle it out for the final 60 laps here in the paperclip.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Here comes A-Bear on the bottom three, wide out.
'94 laps on the board here as we approach the Century Grind around Martinsville. 56 laps to the finish. Brockton Packard, I'm Wesley Outlet. Charles Wooten is our producer handling the broadcast, and you're checking out all the new bells and whistles of what is iRacing on LSRTV. And we settle in for a restart now with about 55, 54 laps to go. When they come back to the green flag, it is Eli Valentine ready to pull the trigger. Cottle, fast qualifier, started 7th on the invert. Challenge, rallied to the front. He's passed 13 cars. He's got one more to get in Valentine, and they go to the green in turn 1.
Cottle got a great restart, but not quite going to get it done. Further back in the pack, Johnson getting all slice and dice. Oh, he's loose. What a save. I don't know who got in. It was Langford got into him. That was a heck of a save by Johnson. Further down the field, Braxton DeWeese trying to make it back after getting a little bit bullied by a couple of the guys around him. And almost turns the 18, Wesley.
Yeah, Drew Chance getting some company there as DeWeese is on the inside. Carter Russo follows. So does McCannon in the 11. All those cars, by the way, 13 cars still in the lead lap as we are about to approach lap 100. DeWeese now holding off Chance. Russo right there behind him, single file, and all the way pulling away is going to be Sean Hayes' car. That's that car on the top left of everyone else as now Chance jumps the cushion, if you will. Shut the gap goes Russo, and Russo clears the 18. Put him now outside in the 11th, and meanwhile, look at Cottle. He's fell back another spot. Suggs got around the 13, and here comes Edwards trying to plow his way through. And Johnson, the macaroni man, as you mentioned, in the 78 car. What a wrap job on the macaroni car. I love mac and cheese, as you said during the break.
Yeah, and as we're now inside 50 laps to go here, Wesley, the patience is wearing thin. These guys are running closer and closer every lap. The braking points are getting closer and closer together, and I am hoping we don't get a bump and run almost as I say it. That was very close between Edwards and Cottle. And Cottle's
triple
going in
digits
deep
on the
now.
scoreboard. Yep, triple digits on the scoreboard. Ready to settle this one to the home stretch, as you mentioned, Bud. Working off the back straightaway now. Everyone climbing the outside wall. Staying, hugging the wall down to the inside into the corner of the apron. Coming off of 4, Diamond off 4, coming back to the straightaway. They run the top side again. This is Trevor Edwards. You're on board with him. He had to go to the tail earlier after being involved in an accident with Chase Pierce. And now he climbs. Oh, we got one car spinning from the top view out of turn 4. And you saw that nice blimp aerial view coverage of our broadcast. As nightfall settles in and the lights are now illuminated around the virtual Martinsville Speedway, Broxton.
Yeah, and it's probably starting to get a little bit cooler on the track. These guys are a little more gripped up, as we can see. They're just throwing it into these corners, able to stay right on that. Oh, as I say that, our leader Valentine gets very loose off the corner. He is pushing it like nothing else. Suggs has been consistently the fastest driver in the field thus far, as we can see that he's pulling away from the pole sitter. And he's been able to run a very consistent line. He just hasn't been able to pass for the lead, Wesley.
Valentine, Suggs, Cottle. 1, 2, and 3. Edwards, Johnson, top 5. Oh, slapping the wall. A little concrete dust on the 13 of Cottle. And he saved it somehow. Boy, oh boy. We keep it going.
Tell you what, Wesley, Cottle's got to be careful with how much space he's given Suggs, because Edwards is just getting closer and closer to that rear bumper, and we know that he is not afraid to use it, Wesley.
That's exactly right. Valentine is the leader. Suggs in second. Cottle, Edwards, Johnson, your top 5. We settle into 40 to go with the paperclip. Valentine, that solid rock carriers machine, has been strong all night since he broke out in front. Marquette, by the way, outside the top 5 in 6th. He's starting to climb back in the field.
Yeah, but he's got a long way to go. Even though it's only 6 cars, this is 6 cars at Martinsville. So he's basically, it's like passing the whole field at Talladega with a truck engine in a cup car. It's a little bit impossible to gain all those spots. But he's going to try and get Johnson here. He's a little bit too far back for the lunge now. And Johnson's running a very defensive line into corner entry. He dives down about half a lane before he gets to the entry of the corner.
That's right. Valentine, Suggs, Cottle. That's the way they stand right now. That's the way it is. With these laps continuing to tick down. Nightfall settling in. Let's take a look at the Kaufman Automotive, the Kaufman Creation. Weather conditions on the bottom right. The Kaufman Creations, weather conditions. And I'll be honest with you, it has not changed by much. It's actually warmer than what it was as nightfall settles in. Brockton, why can that be?
Yeah, you know, sometimes the cars can generate a little bit more heat than the sun can with the exhaust and the tires and everything. Even though we only have 12 cars on the track at the moment, that's still a lot of heat getting put down, a lot of rubber getting put down. So that track temp can actually fluctuate before the ambient temperature can help it cool down a little bit.
Valentine, Suggs, Cottle, Edwards, Johnson, top 5. They roar off the 4th turn. Big thanks to BJ Duvall, who does our camera angles for us for our broadcast coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. And there's a battle in the back now, heated up between Russo and Deweese. And honestly, Brockton, best battle on the racetrack right now, but closing in on 30 to go.
Yeah, these guys are not afraid to bend some sheet metal. These guys have been throwing haymakers at each other for the better part of 50 laps. As we go back to the front of the pack here, I mean, Suggs is just getting so close, but he's not he's not throwing his haymaker yet, Wesley. He's waiting for the right moment to maybe use a little bit of muscle, use a little bit of persuasion, as we like to call it, to
That's right.
maybe help his chances here. But he's going to have to do this quick because Cottle, he laid back for about 5 laps, cooled his tires down, and now he is on the move. He has one of the fastest cars on the track right now.
Definitely got a strong piece as right now we close in on under 30 laps to go here. Home stretch for this race. For the most part, entertaining race, Brockton. We've had some thrills and spills, but not yellow flag city. Let's take a look at the Virginia 811 call before you dig race summary with now under 30 laps to go, and you will see on the bottom left 5 cautions, 23 laps of 150 with 28 remaining, 1 lead change. That's been it. That was because of Marquette pitting, giving up his pit stop, giving Valentine the lead. Valentine hasn't looked back yet. Fairly comfortable race.
Yeah, these guys have run a decently clean race, as we say that with just under 30 laps to go. And oh, a couple guys in the wall there. That was Suggs and Cottle getting in the wall. That's the beauty thing about these cars. They're so tough, so rigid, and the aerodynamics here doesn't really matter. So they're trying to get everything they can out of these cars. They've been running a beautiful race so far, and I hope it continues for the next 26 laps.
Certainly has been entertaining. And we'll see how it all unfolds to the latter stages of this event with 25 laps to go now as they cross the start-finish line. With Valentine right there in tow. Brett Suggs, Josh Cottle right there also. He's trying to take that money bonus challenge from the rear. The fast qualifier, but still right now on the clutches of the outside looking in.
Yeah, Wesley, and I quickly wanted to point out our scoring ticker here. Marquette has, I think, he's 5 laps down in pit road, so something must have happened to the 16, the only other leader of the night. Him, as well as the 18 of Chance, is in pit road as well. So only 11 cars on the lead lap and 11 cars on the track as we come to 22 laps to go, Wesley.
Yeah, that's interesting. That definitely is interesting, as right now we move into what will be your final quarter of the race. Quarter of a laps remaining, under 25 remaining now, 21, 22 now. They come to the line, 21 to go. And all the while, Valentine still out in front. Suggs is right there in that number 2 spot. You gotta wonder, Brockton, when does patience subside and when does the bump and run come to move him out of the way?
Well, if I'm Suggs, it happens on the last turn of the last lap. My patience is done with that. But if I'm Cottle, I've got to make that move a little bit quicker because not only do I have to pass Suggs, I've got to get to Valentine and then pass him too. So I would start seeing maybe 10 to go. These guys starting to lose a little bit of patience and beating and banging a little more.
Working off 4, 20. Under 20 laps to go. Now make it 18 remaining. Valentine still holding on. Here at the paperclip, Suggs. This is on board now with the second place car of Suggs. Look at how close he is right there within the crosshairs of Eli Valentine. Valentine makes one wrong slip and he's got him there. 17 to go. He hasn't made that slip yet, but patiently waiting is Brett Suggs.
And Brett's close enough now that even if he makes a mistake, it could be the end of the race for both of them. If he misses his braking point by, 50 to 100 feet, he's right in the back seat of Valentine's car, and you don't want that, at least not at this point in the race.
Caution is
we
out.
got a caution, Wesley.
There's a yellow flag with 16 laps to go here. And we're thinking it might be the 11 of Branson McCannon with a problem.
Well, Pierce is down pit road, so it could have been a Hayes and a Pierce incident, possibly.
That's indeed a possibility here. Here we go. History repeated itself.
And turn 1.
Oh, no, Hayes and Pierce, and they got into one another. Oh, my.
That's a tough one to defend. Why did he go down pit road, though? I feel like there might be a little more to this story. Maybe he
might have got parked. He might have got parked by the series. Yeah, the 07 has been parked from the race, is what we've been informed. 07, Chase Pierce, parked. Parked for rough driving. So there's your call right there.
Yeah, and this caution changes everything here. We're going to have about 10 laps to go, which is when I said fuses were going to start burning out, and we're going to be racked and stacked too wide, and these guys are going to be going for every inch because now you can see the leader from wherever you are, and everybody's got a chance because nobody knows what's going to happen. So this last 10 to maybe a little bit more than 10 laps is going to be a very exciting 10 laps.
Well, Katie, bar the door. It's about to get good. As what Brocken just said. We are not done yet.
Oh, and look at this. The 33 takes the inside second row.
Wow.
13 goes to the outside. Man, Wesley, there was a race in the Xfinity series where there was an option to boot somebody out of the way or pass them on the outside, and passing them out on the outside works, but you think that's going to work today?
Man, I don't know. I got a feeling the bump and run's coming. I just don't know when it's going to be. With 12 laps to go, we got
we're
trouble.
Not even going to get a chance.
They're wrecking as a couple of cars, still Langford involved, McCannon's involved, Russo involved. The 18 was caught up in it. Drew Chance, and another multi-car accident on the restart, bottleneck in the field under the yellow with 11 laps to go. Here's your replay. Here's Johnny, and here's a look at what happened. Boy, I'll tell you what, looked like they were brake checking on the front row. And then actually, correction, Langford just came down on DeWeese and some others, and they piled in from there.
Yeah, it almost looked like he got on the power too soon. Maybe he was in first gear and tried to get a good rip off the flag, but just spun out, which was unfortunate for him. And I don't know if that's unfortunate for us, because that means we're going to have even less time to decide who's going to win this race. And they're still stacked up the same they were, so we're going to have essentially the same restart, Wesley.
Yep. Ready to go. Back for the restart. Boy, this is a quick yellow here with 11. Now make it 10 laps remaining. Cottle on a nice jump on the restart. Couldn't get to Valentine's back door. Here comes Suggs on the inside. Cars smacking the concrete out for 3. To the line. Under 10 remaining. 8 laps to go at Martinsville.
Yeah, and that was a huge restart for Cottle, able to get past Suggs. Suggs now in the position, and oh, it sounds like we might have had a wreck back there. DeWeese is in the wall and around. No caution yet, letting him race back to the line. Still a race for the lead, however. The 13 trying to get that extra $10 bonus, Wesley, and he's there if he can just get past Valentine.
Seven. Now make it 6 laps to go. Valentine in the lead. Cottle. When does he make his move? He got around Suggs. He got around Edwards. He is now in clean air. Nothing but the leader in front of him. Open hand from your flagman. It's 5 remaining. This time by at the line.
Yeah, and if Cottle's going to do it, he's got to do it soon. He's just not getting the launches off the corners he needs to be getting, which means he's going to have to throw it in deep and hope it sticks. Oh, as I say that, though, Valentine gets a little tight in the middle of the corner. That loses some time, but Suggs is still right on the back bumper of Cottle, excuse me.
4 laps to go. Valentine still on in front. Solid Rock Carriers number 26 leads the way. The Busch Light 13, Cottle reeling him in. Does he got enough time? It's 3 laps to go. At the paperclip, they're off into turn number 1, Brockton.
Yeah, and I think he might be able to get to him if he just sends it a little bit deeper. He might be able to muscle him out of the way. And here he goes, he's trying to push Valentine to make a mistake, but it's not going to happen. He gets a little loose. 2 to go, Wesley.
By the way, I said Busch Light. It's the Rocket Chassis Sim Parts number 13. Coming to the line. This is it. White flag is in the air. 1 more lap to go. Final time into turn number 1. Do you use the bump and run? That's the question. Back straightaway. Brake rotors glowing on Cottle's car. He can't get there into the back stretch. He's into turn 3. Halfway home.
Oh,
Here
close.
He comes. He gave him a shot. He can't get there. Eli Valentine, Solid Rock Carriers car. Number 26 will win at Martinsville. Cottle 1 spot shy from the money challenge. Will settle for second. Suggs will go to third. All the while, Cottle just could not get around the Valentine. And I'll be honest with you, Brockton, I don't think he wanted to use the bump and run. I just don't think he wanted to be that way to win the race.
And that takes a lot of sportsmanship to do. He had the opportunity every time he dove into the corner, especially that last time. But that takes a lot of sportsmanship, and it makes the race even better that it was not won by a bump and run. It was a very well-deserved race, and I think that was a very good show to be put on tonight.
Here's your unofficial results for the Crown Jewel Late Model E-Series tonight at Martinsville. It is Eli Valentine getting scored the win. Josh Cottle. Well, hello. Welcome to the show. Hello. Let's try this again. Eli Valentine is the winner. Josh Cottle second. Brett Suggs third. Trevor Edwards fourth. Aaron Johnson, Still Langford, Carter Russo, midway through the field. Brockton, there's your top 7 here at Martinsville.
Sean Hayes comes home 8th. Branson McCannon comes home 9th. Braxton DeWeese, unfortunately, after getting turned, comes home 10th. The driver is not finishing tonight. 11th on back is Chase Pierce. After having a couple run-ins tonight, will finish 11th, 16 laps down. Dustin, Wesley, please help.
Dustin Mombercat. Dustin Mombercat,
yes,
man.
Thank you. Dustin Mombercat. Sorry, it's been a long day. 29 laps down. Drew Chance, 48 laps down in 13th. James Poletsky, 79 laps down in 14th. And I believe the rest did not start. So that is our finishing order.
Yeah, but final look at the Virginia 811 call before you dig race summary for the race. I think it was 7 cautions. Yep, total cautions of 7. Lead changes is 1. Caution laps 29. So 1 lead change. That was when, of course, the man Dustin Mombercat led the most of the race right before halfway or just after halfway. He come down to the pit lane. It gave the lead to Eli Valentine, and the Solid Rock Carriers number 26 never looked back from there as he went on to pick up the win. Coming up, the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race wrap-up. We'll grab a word with the top 3 and more. This is iRacing on LSRTV, the Crown Jewel E-Series at Martinsville. Eli Valentine getting the win. Time for the Press Box Motorsports Podcast post-race wrap-up. Say that 3 times fast. And that show, of course, is every Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 Central on LSRTV, Rocket Racing Media, Facebook, and YouTube outlets. By the way, don't forget tomorrow, Finish Line, another motorsports podcast show, thanks to LSRTV and Rocket Racing Media. We'll have the Chili Bowl champion, Logan Seavey, Andy Jankowiak, after ARCA tested at Daytona in the Indoor Racing Series. Michael Atwell, winner at Showtime Speedway for the Super Late Model Winner Shootout 10,000 to win race over the weekend. Plus, we'll also have Greg Peterson and Thomas O'Sullivan, the New Year's Bash winners at Dillon a week ago. All that coming up tomorrow afternoon, Fox Sports Radio Carolina, as well as on video for Facebook and YouTube on iRacing on LSRTV. We're back. We grab now our third place man. And, of course, that is the driver of Brett Suggs, somebody that I know from the Allison Legacy days, now racing late models, pro late models. Brett, having fun during the winter doing iRacing, and you got a nice podium finish here in third, my friend.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's something nice to do when we're kind of off season, but I mean, really, there is no off season when it comes to racing down south.
That's true.
We're starting back up here in about 2 weeks, heading over to Chris Motorsports Park for the big Speed Fest race. So no off time, but you know, in between the days of the week, we like to throw down a little bit of iRacing and have some fun with the boys.
Brett, you ran a great race all night long. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get to the top spot of the podium, but kind of take the audience through the race and the challenges that you faced throughout the night.
Yeah, it was definitely a tough race. I haven't ran Martinsville in quite some time. So kind of just trying to get back into the rhythm of things, and had a pretty good qual run. Just, you know, with that invert, put us, you know, mired back in the pack a little ways. But, you know, other than that, we were trying to work our way up through the field, and I wasn't really saving tires all too much. I mean, we had a long race here. I was kind of just going for it, just hoping to get some track position up through the field, and those late race yellows kind of hurt me. I didn't want to take the top because I had no success on the outside groove all night long, so I thought, you know, maybe restarting on the bottom side might be able to get a good run one of those times, but Eli had a great protective line and took care of his tires just enough to hold off the charging pack. But congrats to him, and he had a great race. Just wish we could have been a little bit better, but we'll take a spot on the podium any day.
Pretty quiet race for the most part, Brett. I mean, I know we were kind of contemplating, thinking the bump and run might be coming, but that last restart, taking the outside for the restart, you actually took the inside. What was the reason of doing that? Did you feel like maybe the inside would be better than trying to go to the top?
Yeah, so actually with the league, they have a rule within 10 to go. There's no more choose cone. So I was kind of forced to have to be on the bottom side there. You know, if we would have had the chance to choose with just a couple laps remaining, I probably would have given the outside one more go, maybe taken some front brake out, and just really try to see if I can get some hookup on the outside lane. But, you know, kind of with the way the league rules are, and it's understandable, it takes away that choose cone. So had to do what I could on the bottom side. And, you know, Eli and Josh both got a great restart on that front row. And I wasn't able to keep the nose underneath Josh to try to at least get a P2. So I had to settle in line there and try to keep the tires on it. I almost threw it away in turn 3 there with a couple laps to go, got real free on entry and almost got passed by the 32 car, but fortunately kept it under us and kept digging to the finish.
Well, there you go. There's the thoughts of Brett Suggs. Brett, before I let you go, man, thank your sponsors. Good luck at Speed Fest at Crisp. We'll have, of course, Ben Sumner, the promoter, on Finish Line probably next week to promote that event, and look forward to trying to run into you somewhere at a race this year, my friend.
Yeah, good deal, Wesley. I'd love to talk to you some more about some of that. But anyways, want to shout out TH Motorsports, giving me the opportunity to go real life racing again. You know, we had a great race in November at Hickory, so testing our luck at the big show at Speed Fest in just a couple weeks. So big shout out to TH Motorsports. Check them out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter. As well as McConey Setup Shop, code TEAM33 will catch you 15% off at checkout. And they're jumping on board the Pro Late model here for real racing. So really honored to have them on board, as well as Team Jones Race Development. We've got Racer Tees providing our graphics and all the stuff on iRacing we do as well. Everybody we hang out with here on iRacing and all the competitors out there putting on some good shows. And the boys at T1S Racing. You know, without everybody in the support system, we definitely couldn't make it happen.
Good times, fun times. Of course, that's not Brett Suggs, driver of the number 33. He'll finish third here tonight. Josh Cottle took the challenge, and he'll have to settle for the number 2 position. Again, he was fast qualifier, invert of 7. He took the challenge to try to go for the big bonus money from the tail, and one spot shy. Josh, I said in the broadcast booth, you could have used the bump and run. You could have moved him out of the way. You just didn't do that. Respect is given, respect is earned. Your take of that, and or was Valentine just that strong of a race car you couldn't get around him?
Eli was very fast, man. I was trying everything possible just to like have a run, but I couldn't. He never made a mistake. But yeah, I wasn't gonna move him or wreck him or anything because he raced me really clean at Hickory, and have a lot of respect. So I was trying to get anything, and I got really close, and I think I did hit him, but I wasn't trying to. I was just trying to, find anything I possibly could, but to get that win for the challenge. But nah, that was a blast. I'm sweating, boys.
Well, Josh, you put on a great show tonight. We were watching you all night long, going from the back to the front. What were some of the challenges that you faced with maybe some of the slower cars or some of the faster cars like Brett getting up through the field?
I just wanted to keep my car clean so I didn't get tight or anything, because Martinsville and tight, that's gonna be really difficult to make any moves. I didn't want any damage to happen, but when I'm up there with those fast boys, I trust them. I trust Brett a lot to have some clean racing. We did. That was a fun battle between us three.
I'll tell you what, Josh, man, it's on to the next one. Hopefully this series will keep on going. What's your take of just getting second tonight and, just keep digging, looking for a win for sure?
That was such a fun battle. That was a lot of fun. I always look at the positives in these things, and I'm very happy with the second. Congrats to Eli for the win. That was I don't know, that battle was really fun.
All right, there's the thoughts of Josh Connell. He'll settle for the number 2 position. You got any sponsors? Anybody want to thank?
Yeah, man, I want to thank the shop, everything those boys do, McCollum Manufacturing, Rocket iRace Wraps, the beautiful Busch car he made for me. Check him out on Facebook.
So it was a Busch car. I think I did say that was a Busch car. It was a throwback of the Busch Light car, though, right?
Yes, he made it. I ran it for the icebreaker. And I love it so much. I brought it here too. It looks amazing. He does great work.
Gotcha. Well, definitely. All right. Well, there's Josh Cottle. He will settle for the number 2 spot. Eli Valentine, Solid Rock Carriers on the race car. Shout out to my buddies Kirk and Lynette IPOC and LaGrange. And Solid Rock Carriers now getting on the sim racing world of victory lane, just like in real race cars in NASCAR and grassroots at short tracks across America. Eli, you're taking this race, right place, right time, gets the win. And you survived the bump and run from anybody in your path. Obviously, Cottle couldn't give it to you. Nobody could. Strong effort, strong run. You're taking this win, and congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we didn't really expect too much. Didn't think we had too much speed, so we qualified 8. Was hoping to just get a clean top 5, keep the car in one piece, but everything kind of fell my way perfectly, and we were able to get up to 3rd. And then we fell back to 5th, and the caution came out. And then they pitted, and I was like, I had no idea why they were pitting. They said it was for gas, so when they said that, I was kind of like, okay, well, I'm going to start saving. And luckily, yellows fell at the right time, every time for me, and we were able to save enough. And, yeah, I respect Brett and Josh a lot. I figured they wouldn't move me. They always run me clean. So, yeah, I appreciate them.
Now, Eli, you said that one caution put you from 5th to 1st. Talk about the progression of the tires, and did the car feel different after that? I mean, you were the only person on 151 lap old tires.
It actually seemed like the restart, it kind of felt a little better. On the short run at the start of the race, it was really tight, but it kind of felt like the longer we went, the more we worked the tires in. It just kind of hooked the bottom a little bit better every run.
Well, a big win for you, though, Eli, man. I'll tell you what, before I let you go, I want you to thank your sponsors. And, man, hopefully we can keep this series going, brother. Where's the cars at? Can you give us an answer where the cars are?
I don't know, but we get great racing like this, so they should show up. I don't have any official sponsors, but I just love having Solid Rock Carriers on the car. Love what they do for short track racing. I always want to support them because they support everybody in short track racing. I want to thank Cameron and Caleb for putting this league on, and I want to thank you guys for broadcasting this league.
I couldn't have said that better. Eli, have you ever met Kirk and Lynette IPOC? You ever met them?
I have not.
Okay. Well, I'm saying I have a good relationship with them, so I didn't know if you knew them or not. So yes, good people for sure. And it's I think I'll definitely share some of this video and your comments along, and I'm sure that they'll definitely appreciate you putting your sponsor on their sponsor on your race car, even though they don't even give you money for sponsorship. You never know, that might change something for you. Hands down, Eli Valentine, winner here tonight at the Martinsville Speedway. Braxton and I will take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to wrap it up on here. We're not going to go on cameras. We're going to wrap it up here. Brockton, your final take of this race here tonight at Martinsville, buddy.
You know, it was a great race, some great beating and banging action, and some amazing green flag runs. These guys put on a heck of a show, not only of racing, sportsmanship, but also racecraft. This was a great night for these guys, and could not have been happier of how it went.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Certainly a fun time as always. Follow us at iRacing on LSRTV, LSRTV at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, at iRacing on LSRTV, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. LiveSimRacingTV.com. The Crown Jewel Late Model E-Series is also on Facebook. And don't forget to join us for Finish Line and the Press Box Motorsports podcast shows on Wednesday, tomorrow, and on Sunday as well. For Rocket Racing Media, iRacing on LSRTV, President Producer, Mr. Jeff Stabnow. For Charles Wooten, for Brockton Packard, I'm Wesley Outland. Congratulations again, Eli Valentine, winner tonight at the Paperclip. That is the Martinsville Speedway. We'll see you again for the next round of the Crown Jewel Late Model Stock Car Series. And don't forget, tomorrow night, we're at Lucas Oil Raceway for the main sim racing series. We're off. Correction, we're off. We're off. Never mind. I thought we were going to go to Lucas Oil next week. That is next week. So, whenever we're here again, we'll be here. I'll be here. You'll be here. iRacing on LSRTV. Good cover. Good night, everybody.